Bear with me. I'm still sending out invites. I still didn't get a chance to say the live. I think it started going out, and I tried to hurry up and restart it, and I accidentally deleted it again. So you don't have to we don't have to go over everything we just went over, but kind of just pick up on where we left off, if you don't mind.
Okay, but I wanted to say this quickly because you made me think of something. Because you was talking about the PS5 coming out and like a distraction for us to have. I started thinking about and they legalized weed as well after they put everyone in prison and ruined so much people's lives over the weed. They
Download.
legalized it and everyone can just smoke at home and play PlayStation all day long and eat takeaway.
Exactly. And look, what they did was the same thing they did with the election. They took your favorite artist, your favorite actor, and they promoted this PlayStation. Just like they did with the election. They took your favorite artist and told you to go vote. Now they're using the same thing with these PlayStations. I've seen over 10 big music artists, basically videoing them unpackaging the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox One. So I know when the music artists get involved in it, it's an agenda from the elite. So I feel like you just said, it's basically to give you this toy so that you can be quietly take your vaccine, stay in your house, and play your game. And that's what I feel like is gonna happen. And that's what it's really for, because it came out. They've been talking about this PlayStation 5 this whole year, and it's just recently coming out when we going on lockdown.
I know. I want one so much.
Yeah, that's not a coincidence. That's just playing. Oh yeah, they tapping my phone for sure. That damn phone tripping. Nah, they tapping it. They doing something to it. Kamala Harris even joked about on the Breakfast Club doing the college in the game.
That's the thing. This whole past year has been
wow.
It's been that distraction, isn't it?
Yeah, a distraction in a way. But tell me this. I gotta ask you this. What are you doing to kind of stay sane in this time? Because it's hard right now for a lot of people to just stay they self. So how are you working towards that? Like, how's that like going for you?
I don't know if it's going well because, like, basically, it came to a point, I think, in the first lockdown where I was so anxious and I was terrified, and then it got to a point where I thought, at the end of the day, if the worst is happening or the worst is going to happen, I should just do whatever I feel like doing. And it kind of gave me strength in a way to say, it wasn't anything I particularly wanted to do, but I think I do care about a lot, like, what people might think or say about me and stuff. So, like, I started a YouTube channel and I've made some weird, unusual videos on there. But the main thing why I did it is because, that would make me die of embarrassment. And I thought, no, if I can go on in, I can do it and let people criticize me and stuff like that. When it comes to other things, it would be better for me. And then, like, I do the gardening and stuff like that. And, watching the YouTube videos and Instagram videos, like, stuff like that.
Hey, as long as they're keeping you where you need, that's all that matters. You don't need, so basically you ain't got no PlayStation 5 keeping you sane over there. Okay.
I need to get one when it comes out, but do you know that you can't even get it? I'm on the waiting list, but the pre-orders are full up, so I don't know.
I think it's the Xbox One out right now, and I'm hearing that it's smoking and blowing up or burning up or something. Like, me myself, I thought about getting a PlayStation 5, but I don't want to be the test dummy for the first test run of this device that they putting out, because it's new. So the first person who get it is the first experiment on it. And it's a lot been going on, so I don't really trust the first new thing they put out this year. Whether it's the iPhone 12 the Apple 1300 or the PlayStation 13. I'm not buying that shit until I see what's going on with it. If I like just now, the guy spent over what $400-$500 on this Xbox, and now they burning up, they smoking, and I'm seeing that all over the internet. It's not just one device; it's several devices of these Xboxes that are smoking and burning up, and all this weird stuff. So,
and they're watching you as well, because I remember watching the thing that they said I mean, you would expect, even though it's not nice, you would expect that it's got like a robot or AI listening to you. But PlayStation actually had real life people sitting down listening to people through the microphone, because there's a microphone that you use if you want to talk to people, but the controller's got something like built in as well. And then they actually complained, the people that worked there themselves, because they kept on overhearing people having sex and like a lot of private things, and they were like, this is not their task was to get data to help them get more money in regards to like what would make people buy more add-ons, like, you know, the XP packs and whatever, not to be just in your business like this. And then they said they update something, but they probably just made the signal even stronger. But what I was gonna say, I really want to get one of them things that they can know how much radiation is coming out or stuff, because I don't know. I think it would just put my mind at ease.
Yeah, so look, with that PlayStation 5 coming out, you might need a radiation detector, because you got to think about it. They even advertise this PlayStation 5 with 5G, because they say you get the best experience with 5G on this device. And what people don't understand about 5G is when they turn this on and you got this PlayStation 5 at your house, and you got the iPhone 12, and you got the iPad 2, and all of this is connected to 5G, all of those signals are going to be coming towards those devices. And if you're around those devices, you're going to be surrounded by 5G radiation, which is going to cause flu-like symptoms, cause other issues, other health issues that we may not want. Because you got to think about it. Your device is a receiver for signals. That's how it works. That's how me and you are able to talk. There's a cell tower near me that's sending a signal to my phone. You know what I'm saying? The phone doesn't send the signal out. It receives signals, and those signals are forms of radiation. You get what I'm saying? And you got 5G that's at a higher frequency level that is being sent out, which is going to be a lot more dangerous. So the best thing to do with that is not have so many 5G compatible devices at your house or in your home.
But it's difficult because they're in the stuff that I like using.
Yeah, you don't need the iPad 12 and iPhone 12. Just limit it. Just get you one game, one phone. You know what I'm saying? Don't feed into the Jones. Don't try to keep up with the Jones, because that's what's gonna get you.
I think it's like half in, half out. It's kind of difficult. Like, I think it will probably be easier to just go and live in a farm and don't have internet and phones no more than to dip in and dip out. Like, I've seen people that have boxes that they put their phones in when they're not using it, and other things that seal off the radiation. And one man, he made his daughter's room into like a Faraday kind of cage, the whole thing, and put wallpaper on top. But at the same time, like, I watched this man, I can't remember his name now, I think it's Brian, but he was saying that when the 5G is going on you and doing its stuff, he was saying that don't ever get better, and it don't ever stop shining. So if you put a protection on and then now you've got 50% protection, that affecting your body the whole time.
My bad, it went out. Can you repeat it? It went out on me.
I was talking about the radiation and stuff, and saying that I can't remember the man's name, but he was on London Real, and
David Icke?
Yeah. So he was talking about the radiation and stuff, and basically, say for example, I don't know, I had some cloak on me, and now the cloak is giving me 50% radiation from all, whatever, 50% protection. Sorry, the other 50% is still on you, and then it's on you day and night, day in, day out, year in, year out. So it's like, and then that damage that it's doing, you can't really repair that damage to those cells and stuff like that. So he was saying, like, eventually everyone's would get degraded, your DNA and stuff like that, because it's just on you. And then that's if you take precautions. If you don't, like, say for example, I have it, but then one day I think, oh, I forget to do it. I don't know. It's just
so yeah. That's one of the side effects to radiation is DNA damage. And basically that's like, well, you gotta understand, when you damage your DNA, you damaging your genetics. So if you have a baby, it may not affect you. You may not see any damage to you, but if you have a baby, you may see the damage done to the baby because it's affecting your DNA. Your DNA is what carries information through generations. That's what makes you look like your mother or look like your father. So if you damaging that family tree, you creating a whole nother type of family tree. You might have weaker immune systems. You might be more susceptible to other diseases. So you don't want to damage your DNA, or you don't want stuff that damages your DNA, because that's very vital to your family tree or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm about to show you a cell tower that they put in front of this restaurant, but it's like all around this building. While we were talking about 5G, some just told me to just go show y'all these cell towers they got.
They've got so many here now, and then they're even digging it up and putting a lot of them underground now. All the roads, but all the main roads have it under the ground.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, and it's like, and what's strange is that a lot of the underground like roadworks, this has actually started from like 2-3 years ago, and it was very strange. Nobody knew what it was, but then now, like when the first lockdown happened, they then did it everywhere else at one time, and then that's when we knew what it was. But it's meant to be to help with the driverless vehicles.
So can you repeat it? I think it was in and out. My bad. You said.
I'm saying it's meant to be to help with the driverless vehicles.
Oh, okay.
But then it means as well that if they've got the satellites, they've got it underground, and then they've got the poles, there's no way to get away from it at all.
Well, like I said, these cell towers works as receivers, so it's not going to directly come at you if you don't have a receiver for the signal to come at. You get what I'm saying? It's not radiation don't work by just coming at humans. It needs a device that basically calls it. It's like it needs something to basically pick up on the signal. So if you have a device that picks up 5G signals, then you're gonna be susceptible to things that 5G carry, like DNA damage. But as far as, like, for instance, you got people that live in the country that's not in the city area, so they're not bombarded with radiation. These people won't have to worry about things like that because they don't even have a cell phone signal where they live. You get what I'm saying? They can't even pick up a signal where they live in the country. So it's mainly these big city areas that's going to be bombarded with this radiation. And they need you to have these devices in order for it to work, because the sun gives off radiation. We live around radiation on a day-to-day basis, but when it becomes harmful when you carrying these devices that picks up radiation signals. But I'm at the spot right now. So this is a subway right here. You see that right there?
Yeah. Well, the rectangle.
Yeah. That's a 5G cell tower. I'm gonna tell you another one. And these people right here work around it. They don't look at shit. They might get sick and don't know what they getting sick from. Probably they gonna think it's COVID. But it's gonna be these cell towers right here. I'm gonna show you one more, and then I'm gonna go back to the office. So if you can see this one right here, let me pull in. You see it at the top of this building? Can you see it? It's like at the top part. Let me get that.
Or something on the building.
Yeah, on the wall. On the wall. Destroyed, bro.
Oh yeah. Next to the sign. I can see it now.
So see, like the way that works is if I had a 5G phone or if they using 5G Wi-Fi, whatever devices around that cell tower, that's what's gonna pick up that signal. So if this phone was 5G, my phone will pick that signal up, and it'll send me that. It'll send you radiation that way. But these devices with 5G, it has to be side by side. You see how close they are? They not like the average cell phone tower. They gotta be directly beside each other in order for them to work. You know what I'm saying?
But for example, like if I say, for example, I haven't got any 5G devices, but then my next door neighbor does, is that close enough that it can't do anything?
Hold on, say it one more time.
For example, I don't have a 5G device, but my neighbor does, like one of my next door neighbors, and then so would that be enough, or would it have to be, do you think, into your building where you are?
No, you would be good because 5G signal isn't strong enough to go through walls if you don't have a receiver. So it can't travel through, it can't even travel through certain paint. Like certain paint can block 5G. But the thing is, it works when you have devices side by side beside it. It makes it even stronger. So you need a cell phone that's 5G compatible yourself in order to receive the radiation, in order for something like that to happen. But as far as your neighbor, it may affect you a little bit, but it won't be as worse as what your neighbor is gonna get. If you get what I'm saying.
Apparently with the David Icke interview as well, he was saying that the 5G is just kind of the beginning, that it goes from 5 to 10 and from 10 to 20, and then he was talking about how they used to use, I don't know if he said this or something similar as a weapon, and that at them frequencies, that's where they used it for, when they weaponized it.
Yeah, see what people don't realize about 5G. 5G is basically fifth generation technology, which is basically fifth generation AI or artificial intelligence. It's the fifth consciousness of the internet. It's the fifth level of consciousness for the internet or for artificial intelligence. When you get 6G, that's the sixth generation. Just like we have 5D consciousness, we have 3D consciousness. It's the same thing. It's just a copy of what is natural. You get what I'm saying? So 5G is it sends information at a fast pace. Your brain sends information at a fast pace. Your thought travels what 5 billion miles per second or something. I don't really know, but you can look it up. But your thought travels fast. So what they're doing is, because there's going to be an upgrade on the planet, there's going to be a universal upgrade, meaning with nature, even with us as humans. They have to keep up with that upgrade with their technology. That's why every year technology has to be updated with the consciousness of humans. I know you probably can't really hear me because I'm driving, but I'm about to stop.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So yeah, basically 5G, they tell you it travels fast. It's fast. And what it does is it sends signals, which is information. Your thoughts do the same thing. And when you're on a 5D consciousness, not 5G, but when you're on 5D, your thought process speeds up. So you talk fast. You can your cognitive function gets stronger. So you don't, what was I saying? I forgot what I said. That's not on the 5G, 5D consciousness. So just like 3G is slower than 5G, 3D is slower than 5D. You get what I'm saying?
You see, the other day you said that did you say you got blocked or something?
You said I got what? I'm sorry.
Did you say you got blocked or something the other day?
I got
blocked.
Oh, blocked. Yeah. So basically, they blocked me off of YouTube. And what they did was, it was slick because it was a video that I posted 4 months ago, but they just reviewed it 2 days ago. And they just took it down. It was basically on psychology, the study of the mind. They removed the video and they gave me my second strike. And they also told me I'm not allowed to post any more videos for 2 weeks. Basically,
what was the reason?
It say because I went against the community guidelines, I guess. I disobeyed the internet laws, and they sent Paw Patrol out to basically quarantine me from YouTube.
I think it's strange though, because do you know how much millions of videos gets uploaded to YouTube every day all over the world? So I find it strange. I understand that when, for example, my videos, a lot of the time I put music in it so they can hear that and know. But when it comes to certain content, I don't know how they even have time to even listen to people's things and know. Because it's free to upload, and people must upload stuff to YouTube and use it even like storage and just make it private. Because you could just put all your pictures on like a storage. Millions, and then how are they funding that?
So it's through the algorithms. So they have people that create algorithms, and if you say certain words, it'll trigger that algorithm and it'll pick you up and it'll start monitoring you. So if you're in the middle of a live and you just say 5G, COVID-19, it's gonna pick up that algorithm and they're gonna start monitoring you. So you gotta say certain keywords. It's crazy, but it's some nerd stuff. Where these nerds, basically cyber security, if you want to ask me, it's basically cyber security. It's the beginning of monitoring you on the internet, which they've already been doing. That's the whole purpose of the internet, is so that they can basically monitor the human consciousness. But basically, it's just cyber policing. That's what they're doing, and that's what they're trying to bring in. Because they can police you in the physical world. Now they're trying to police you in the ether world. They're trying to make a government on the internet. They already have a government in the physical world. They want a government in the internet world now. They want to say, oh, no, you can't do that on the internet. No, you can't say that on the internet. It's almost the same as, now, but they just trying to flip the script. They want to control you on all levels, basically. And with YouTube started off as, it's exactly what it is. YouTube is your tube. It's your channel. It's for you. And that went from YouTube to they tube. You get what I'm saying?
When you're saying that, you just made me start thinking as well about, like, words and language are very powerful. And also, it's like, if you can't say certain things or you don't talk about certain things, they actually disappear from your memory, and it's like they never existed and so on. So if you're, I don't know, I mean, this is not really a good example, but say, for example, like child pornography, when you say that doesn't bring up the horror of what that is. And then, so it's like, all through these different things, like if you can't say, we're in the pandemic time right now, so obviously everyone's going to talk about coronavirus. Even if you said, it doesn't matter what it is, it could be children saying, oh, I got to wear a mask on the bus, or it could be anything. Are you going to ban the most relevant topic? You can't say its name. It's like making your mind do some kind of weird mental gymnastics where you're talking about something, but the thing is like it don't exist then because you can't say its name. Do you know what I mean? And then it's making, like they say about cognitive dissonance, like you're doing something, but then it's against what you're thinking, and it makes you kind of crazy that you don't know, but it will come out in a different way. I just kind of thought of that when you was talking as well, because if you can't say the things, it don't make it not exist. It's still there, but it's like it don't exist. If someone's punching me every day, but I know my nose and I don't say anything, to the rest of the world that's not true. So it's like manipulating information, manipulating like perceptions as well. And then it kind of, like now, before I never had a YouTube channel, so I wouldn't care. But then now that I have one, if they was to say to me, you can't say certain things or whatever, you're changing my life now, you're changing my real life, because I can't turn it off and on. You're changing my personality. I'm not going to want to talk about certain things or, even go there. My channel must be full up with flags on their algorithm. So they haven't got to it.
Yeah, they definitely controlling what you can and can't say. And that goes back to the Constitution, where they basically trying to take your free will away from on the internet. They already took it away in the physical world. Now we're so sensitive to things people say. We can't even speak our own mind just talking to regular people. So they already sensitized us from speaking in the real world. Now people have more confidence on the internet and what they say, and they don't have any filter, so they say whatever they want to say on social media. So they're noticing that, and I feel like they don't like that. They don't like the fact that you're more open on the internet. You get what I'm saying? You don't have a filter on the internet. So what they doing is they're trying to find a way to basically take away your freedom of speech by saying fact checkers, this is false information, or sending algorithms at your page and telling you that this go against the community guidelines. This is all basically to take away your free speech process. Like, this will basically, think about children, don't think about you going through this. Think about children that's younger than you. Or think about kids growing up in this type of society where it's certain shit you can't say. Even if it's the shit that's controlling the whole reality, the whole world, COVID-19 controlling everything. But you can't talk about it. Don't say anything about it on the internet. And if your friend's telling you this and this about it, don't speak on it. So it's basically, I feel like it's desensitizing us in a way to, not even on an adult level, but on a child level, to basically put it in your mind like, this is a bad word, I can't say this. Just like shit, you can't say shit to certain people, you can't cuss, you can't curse or whatever. I feel like that's the type of category COVID-19 and 5G is in. It's like the bad word on the internet. If you get
what do you think about like another thing I thought of what we were saying before is that, I was talking about, you were talking about the PlayStation 5, and then I was saying about the weed being legalized as well. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh no, it's gone. If it comes back, I'll tell you.
How they gave us a distraction.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. I'll tell you if I remember. Yeah,
it'll come back. It happens. But yeah, with that PlayStation 5, that whole thing is, I feel like...
Oh wait, I remember now, sorry.
Okay.
So, with the weed one, I was reading the thing as well, and I wanted to know what you thought about, like, gun control as well, because in England, we don't have guns like that. Obviously, some people in gangs and whatever have guns, or some police have guns, but it's not something... It's more likely someone will just stab you, then they're going to shoot you if you're going to do that. And then if they're going to stab you, they have to get close to you first. So you have a little leeway. But they were saying that people who smoke weed, then they're going to say that they're not allowed to legally have that right of having a gun legally. And I didn't know what you thought about that as well, because I don't think, like, for example, like if they said, okay, you don't have this, but say they could say you've got mental health, now you can't do it. It's not something that they undo. So I don't know, would they say you don't smoke no more, now you can have a gun, or would they say you just can't? Because I know you, not you lot, but Americans, you seem quite passionate about your guns.
Yeah. And you gotta think about it. We've been programmed from children to watch these movies about guns and the cowboys. Our whole history deals with guns. So it's innately basically programmed in us as Americans to either want a gun or to have a gun. But as far as with this legalizing of weed, what that actually did was they had something called the red flag law, and they were trying to. The Democrats were trying to pass this through last year, and it was basically where if you are under the influence of something, they may be starting to do like basically the red flag was about drug testing people, so that if you do smoke weed or whatever, you may not be able to function properly and carry a gun at the same time. So they're basically we're trying to say that people that smoke weed or are under the influence of either alcohol or anything like that, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun. That's the red flag law. So I feel like that's part of why they legalize certain states like Mississippi, so that these people are not able to buy guns. Because now that the Democrats are in office, supposedly in office, I feel like that's their goal, is to basically give you weed, legalize weed everywhere, and tell you if you smoking weed, you can't buy a gun. So it's like they use strategies to get what they want. I'll give you this. That's the Democrat whole. That's what people don't understand. The Democrats are the people that I'm gonna give you this, but I'm gonna take your freedom away. I'm gonna take this away. I'll give you this right here, but I gotta take this. The Republicans are just simply for the rich, and they want to keep the economy going. But that's what you get when you vote for a Democrat. Basically, you know, they stand for control and safety, if you ask me. But they want the guns. Simple as that.
The one I think is like, we're here, we have different parties, but the main ones would be like Labour and Conservative. So Labour will be the equivalent to a Democrat, and Republican equivalent to a Conservative. But whereby, like, and I don't know if it's like this in America as well, like whereby I probably agree more with what the Conservatives are saying. The Conservatives tend to be racist, so I'm not gonna, even if I agree with like every single thing you're saying, I can't vote for you now because you hate me and you're gonna, do you know what I mean? I don't want to vote for you now. Even if it's gonna make my life better, I don't want to. And on the other side, you think these things they're saying, is it gonna apply to me, or are they just gonna make my life harder in some kind of way? But it's a shame because they make it now like, okay, we had other ones. So there was a time where there was the Lib Dems, and they were meant to be in the middle, that they were like more reasonable, and people voted for them, but they never really got far. And then one time people had enough and they voted a lot, so it was split between Lib Dem and Conservative, and they had a chance because even though there wasn't a lot of them, the Conservatives wouldn't have been able to pass nothing without them. But they just went along with everything, and it was like, it was shocking to the point where I thought, what is the point of voting for anyone then? Because I understood that the problem with the Labour and Conservative, and you think this one's like this and this one's like that, but the Lib Dem, you were meant to be different now, and you even got in. You couldn't vote for nothing yourself, but you could have made sure, you could have held them ransom that they have to listen. One thing they promised us was like to not have to pay for university fees, and then they tripled it. So now instead of 1,000 a year, it went to 3,000 and 5,000 a year. That would have paid for your whole course, and now that's 1 year. Plus you got to get, pay for your residence and everything like that. They just done the opposite. And it just makes you think like, I don't know, because on the one hand people will say, if you don't vote, you're not participating in democracy and you shouldn't even open your mouth to speak because you didn't get involved. But then on the other hand, like the other girl done her science, not her science, but she done her timeline and said all of the all of the past presidents got the same lineage. Also, how's that possible now? Because, you know, that's not a coincidence, isn't it? Otherwise, they'll be saying, oh, this person, he's my cousin from twice removed. These people are all related, but they're related separately far away, and it makes it seem like an orchestration that basically it don't matter what you do. Like I could say, it doesn't matter what you do, my child is going to win this beauty pageant. It doesn't matter who you enter because I own it. That kind of thing. And it's like the agenda, I don't know, people are so short focused or something like they will have an agenda that literally that's been in their family for 300 years. And the next person don't say, I don't feel like doing this. They pick it up and they keep going and run hard at it, where everybody now, they've made us feel like, oh yeah, we're all individuals, you need to make yourself happy. You know, people, like I watched one show, one man, he had a very nice haircut and his t-shirt was cute. And every morning he goes down to Starbucks and he was getting Starbucks and he was eating an avocado toast. But the man didn't have no money and he was in debt. And then he was saying that he would rather do that. So it's like, it's made, and then he didn't want to have no kids and stuff. I'm not saying you should have to have kids, but it's made everyone's like a peacock now. Everyone's just vain. And like what I said about the computer games and stuff and the virtual reality, it's like you're even doing it to yourself. Because at the end of the day, like now, I would actually like to do some surgery if I had money, but I don't have money for it. But at the same time, if you're thinking smart, what is that surgery going to do for you at the end of the day? If you buy some land, that's a legacy. It might not be worth nothing now. It might be in the future. Land, you can't make more land. Once it's allocated and people own it, that's the end of it. You should be thinking about your children and your grandchildren. I don't know what world they're going to live in. Look how many jobs has gone from the coal mining and even down to now to IT. I'm talking to someone and I'm arguing. And this is like real companies and it's not a person, it's the bot. And I think, what's the point? Because I can't get nowhere. Everyone should be focusing on, in the future, you need to have something. If you don't own land or property, or you don't own the robots, then you have no way of making any kind of income, and the whole of your lineage is going to have no way of ever making any kind of income. And the people that have the money, why are they going to just one day give you their house or give you that land? Though they will be super duper rich, and if you think there's rich and poor now, there's going to be a super duper rich and poor. And some people, it's like every day they're going to be like this, like they're not even going to know what food tastes like, where the other ones is going to have all the knowledge and all of the resources. They know my rant because I want to buy a property and I can't do it right now. But it's like these things, everyone, like when my grandparents came in from Jamaica, the mentality of everyone, they wanted to do their own thing, but they would say no blacks, no dogs, and no Irish and stuff. So everyone pulled together. They put money together, like they did a partner. So like say for example, everyone pays £100 a month and put the money together and buy the house, or they live together. And everyone done that. And every one of my like grandparents' age generation owns their own property outright. Then you go down the generations, like my parents' generation, and it's some, and they don't own it outright, and then they remortgage it too. I'm not saying my specific parents, but people of that age group. And then people of my age group, they're not even thinking about buying, because what you're going to save your whole life for the deposit. And then you make one wrong move and they take the whole house from you and you still have to pay for it. Them kind of pressures, it's too much. That it's like we really need to pull together. And then it's like when people do it, they will call it a commune or they will call it a cult or something. But why can't 10 friends, don't have to be strangers, but 10 friends that you know each other, you like each other, buy a mansion, you have your own wing, you're not even going to see each other that much. You don't want to do that, that's a cult. But you're going to rent a room in an apartment like with other strangers who you don't even like, and the landlord, he doesn't even want to fix the taps, all that, when you could be in a big mansion with space. But it's like our mentality, we've been twisted that things like that, you automatically, it's negative connotations and stuff like that. So I'm going everywhere with my conversation.
No, you good. I'm following you. I get exactly. And basically, what they did with that was during the time of like our grandparents and things, or our great grandparents, they had a different mindset, a different programming, and it was to own land, uh, you know, buy a house, and be successful. The mindset that we have now is get a mansion, get a chain, get some bitches, get you a fast
Yeah, a
car.
banking
Uh,
bag.
yeah, it's a whole different mindset, and that doesn't deal with anything about owning land or
No.
coming together. It's all about yourself. That's the mindset we in this generation have. It's about self. It's about, hey, go get the money, go get the bitches, do this, do that, get the chain, had a nice clothes, had the Jordans. They didn't have Jordan. Jordans wasn't as popular as they are now today as when my grandmother was younger. You get what I'm saying? So they didn't have to chase all of these shiny and clean and glossy things. They just wanted the things that actually had value, meaning like a house, some
Yeah.
land, a
With
business.
my grandparents, like, there could be times, because as well back in them days, they had a lot of kids as well. Like, people had a lot more children than they do now. And there might have been times where, like, my grandparents didn't eat because they had to make sure their children could eat, or times when they literally had to cut cardboard out and put it in their shoes because there was a hole in it. But then they had the house that they could give them, where other people would have the trainers and whatever. But you don't know nothing. You're living at someone's whim. Because what came to me when you were saying that was assets and liabilities. Because people, they're buying up things and they're showing off and they feel like it's an asset. But let's see when you die how much money your children get then. Because a lot of the stuff, oh, I don't understand. Did you pay for it or did you borrow it or what? Because if you bought all that stuff, how is it now that you've died and now all these vans are pulling up and taking all your things? There's no way that you should have. I mean, people do what you're doing to be able to live their life, but do things smart. You could get a jewelry shop to lend you the jewelry pieces, and a lot of people do that, and it even comes with security. You saved yourself money on your own security, and that's the new exclusive piece, and you don't have to insure it. Like, do things smart. And that's a lot of people that, that will say, oh, they was a billionaire, but then afterwards they never pay tax and now they're in prison. And I don't understand how it goes. Like, sort your stuff out, like, prioritize yourself. Especially if you're famous, don't you have people? If you don't have people that help you with that, you need to get people. That's the first thing you need to do, because, like I say, the things that they feel like they're buying, like the house and the jewelry and stuff like that, when they die, the house gets taken, so that means it wasn't paid off. Maybe it was mortgaged, but a lot of them is rented. And if it's an asset, that should be something that makes you money, not something that's taking your money away. And it's like we're programmed in so much ways to value liabilities over assets. And that is like the most backwards you can get. That's like thinking yourself into debt.
It is. And look, I'm noticing now I'm hearing a lot of not everybody, but I'm hearing a lot of people talking about buy land and this and that. But what they not telling people is, like you said, you can buy the land, but how are you gonna generate some type of money off of this land? You get what I'm saying? Like, are you gonna create like a farm? Are you gonna create a small store, or what are you gonna do with this land that you have? Because now we having an understanding that we need land. I don't know if it was a mindset that we lost and we getting it back, or we just gaining it back. But I'm noticing a lot of people want land now. But what are you gonna do when you get the land? You know what I'm saying? Because even artists are coming out talking about, hey, we need to buy land, we need to buy this. But when you get the land, what the hell are you gonna do with it? You're gonna wind up just like, you don't want to pay to just stay somewhere. You want to buy something that generates money. You get what I'm saying? So if you buying a house and you actually making money from staying here, then you winning. You know what I'm saying? You on the right track. But if you buying a house just to live in there, just to pay rent, or you buying land just to live on it, just to pay rent on it, what the hell are you doing? You going
It's
back?
like a cycle.
Exactly. It's just like selling drugs. You buy weed to sell weed to buy weed to sell weed. You in a trap. You in a trap. You gotta get out of there. But I feel like we just gotta, like you said, we gotta be a lot smarter with what we do, and we just gotta know our true intentions on what we want, and connect with people that have been there and that are doing it, because that's part of our problem as well. We surrounded by the wrong people, and we listen to the wrong people, the wrong crowd, and that's the thing we need to do.
And then they're making it harder every turn.